What's going on, everyone? In today's video, I thought it would be fun to go over what horror movies scared you. That could be from when you were a kid to even now as an adult. And that is what this video will be, is movies that scared me when I was a kid to just not too long ago, a few days ago, I saw a movie that chilled me to the bones, man. And that, is one of the found footage February films that I watched. And I was wowed. A movie really hasn't affected me that much in a long time. So that's going to be in this video later on. So I thought I'd start with films that scared me when I was a kid and then just go up until now. The first film that scared me was Nightmare in Elm Street. Freddy Krueger, man, he is simply, not only is he iconic, um, a horror villain, but geez, man, he is just the first film, and that's the one that I saw. He is so scary in that film, and just gave me the creeps, man. I When he went through the alleyway and extended his arms, that's the moments that really stuck with me for some reason. Was that scene, and just seeing his arms just extend out and just go all the way out. Really was the imagery of that just spooked my ass, man. Really scared. And then of course some of the kill scenes, Johnny Depp, and then just the enormous blood, and the bathtub scene, going through and trying to get Nancy. But it's just an incredible film. And that movie, even though it's the first film that I can remember that scared the crap out of me, I love that movie, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. Just like the next movie, and that is An American Werewolf in London. In one of my earlier videos, I already mentioned that. Again, that movie holds a special place in my heart just because of how memorable those scenes were. As I also mentioned, that the music in that movie really affected me in ways that I don't know, that I guess I didn't think about before. As I mentioned, Halloween 2. That movie to me didn't really scare me, but for some reason, the end of that scene where Mr. Sandman is playing at the end of the movie is really memorable for me. Just the music playing, and the tortured screams, and an American Werewolf, just that transformation that happens. Jesus Christ! That's happening during that transformation. The beginning of that film is very effective, and I love American Werewolf in London. Simply incredible. I just love it, man. Another movie that stuck with me when I was a kid is The Entity. The Entity was what scene that really stuck with me in the movie was, there's a few. One is of course when the lady is getting molested uh, on the bed, and just that whole scene, the just what they did, wonderful directing, and just the special effects, and all of it was just great. And I just remember that scene, what happens to her, and then towards the end of the movie, when they try to ice his ass and try to destroy him and everything. Holy cow! That's imagery of that scene. Just how enormous. I highly recommend seeing The Entity. I know it's on Scream Factory. There's a Blu-ray. I don't have it. I need to get it, but I think that movie is a must-watch because I think that movie kind of led me into watching a little bit more of the paranormal movies. Um, yeah, I just simply love it. Fantastic movie. Scare the bejesus out of me. And then speaking of paranormal, the next film is Poltergeist. It's an iconic horror film, 80s classic, and the 4K holds up really well. But man, just the scene that scared me was when the little boy was laying in bed and a creepy ass clown gets his ass. Oh my goodness, man! And uh, just everything. I mean, when the stacking of the chairs, that whole scene, and when they do the actual, when they try to save the girl, I mean, there's just that entire scene, um, you know, uh, the father going through the portal, uh, just the spooky ass demon, demonic, ghost, a poltergeist. It's just scary, man. The scary ass tree. Oh my goodness, man. Are you kidding me? That's kind of creeps you out as a kid. The shadow effect, and just your imagination going crazy. But in this film, that tree's gonna get your ass. And so that scared me because I was like, oh shit, tree's getting them. So yeah, and that still is effective to this day. I think that's also what makes a certain film a classic, if it still holds up. And that film was made in the 80s, and the imagery of not only the trees, of the poltergeist, the demonic evil ass poltergeist, the swimming pool scene, the end of the movie. I mean, just if those moments like that, those holds up to this day, to me that is regarded as a classic. It's because they're just memorable films, and people just always will remember it, and they talk about it in videos like these. So I highly recommend The Poltergeist. Such a fantastic film. Another movie that scared me when I was a kid is The Witches. Man, just the imagery in that film. Angelica Houston, when she transforms into that nasty looking witch, she turns those kids into mice. I mean, and just the dining room scene. Oh my goodness, man. It's just a very memorable scene. Holy cow. Just a great. Sounds really weird, especially now as a father. But I think it's a great kids horror movie, man. I love it. That's one thing I love about the 80s and early 90s, is that those movies that we watched growing up back then, uh, they definitely want to be made now. Definitely check out The Witches. Fantastic kids horror movie. So these movies are gonna go back to back, and that's because Tim Curry's the fucking man. Um, First one I'll go is Legend. Uh, Tim Curry as the devil is iconic, man.
Does the gown not please you?
I think he's the best devil, right next to Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy. I, to me, they're 1A, 1B, representations of portraying themselves as the devil and everything. But holy cow, man. Tim Curry is scary as fuck as the devil, and just the his deep, scary voice, and those goblins are hella scary. The music's fucking weird, and I love Legend. I love Legend. So good. I I highly recommend people watching it. I mean, as a father, I'm not gonna have my kids watch them right now, but I really think that later on they'll appreciate or they'll really like Legend because it's just a very effective fantasy film. And Tom Cruise, he's really young in that film. I think it's one of his first film roles, if I remember right. Um, but yeah, I love Legend. Next is It. As I said, Tim Curry's the man, and him being Pennywise. Holy cow! Not only does he have the acting skills and range to play a scary clown, but he is funny. Kiss me, fat boy. Rewatching it, watching it as an adult, you really get to see the entire film. Meaning, when you're a kid, what I remember of it was the scary moments of Tim Curry, you know, trying to kill kids and everything, and getting Georgie and everything, and so that's the moments I remember as a kid. But when you watch it as an adult, you really get to appreciate what how good of an actor Tim Curry is, and just everyone else. The casting is phenomenal, man. I love it. It is so good. And I really love the remake. That came out in 2017, I believe. And so I love, like I said, I love the movie, and definitely it's a must own. Obviously, it came out originally as a TV series, but parts 1 and 2. But it's a must own. And I think Scream Factory, if I remember right, put out the Blu-ray. The last movie that scared me when I was a kid, and it just happens to be my all-time favorite horror film and the best horror villain, and that's Candyman. Tony Todd as Candyman. Pff, so iconic. Oh my goodness, man. I love that movie. I literally think it's a masterpiece. The scenes that I remember when I was a kid, just of course, the beginning of that film. So little backstory for me, I my mom and my uncle, I believe at the time, were watching the movie downstairs, and I snuck downstairs to get a little sneak peek of what they're watching, because just audibly I was hearing it, and then I was like, what type of film are they watching? And I snuck down, and the scenes that I saw was just freaking, oh my goodness, man, just it's always stuck with me, man. And I saw the scene that I remember seeing was right in the very beginning, when the blood started pouring down, from the ceiling, and I was it scared me, man. And then of course, my uncle teasing me wanting me to say Candyman 5 times in the mirror. Of course, hell no, I didn't even try it. But you damn right. I try to get my sister to say Candyman and spook her. It's just a great movie. Obviously, they're playing off on on Bloody Mary and the that type of urban legend. But rewatching it later on in life, I simply love it. The score to that film, it's composed by Philip Glass, and of course that Philip Glass is the man. It's just so beautiful to listen to. I think it fits perfectly. In Candyman, it's very haunting. It's very effective, and the like I said, the imagery for Candyman. Another scene that just sticks out, and I will just always, when I think of Candyman, I always think of uh, Candyman in the parking lot, where Virginia Madison is meeting him for the first time, and just him just arms back, and the shadow figure of Candyman. Phew, man, I think that's just one of the best shots in any horror movie. Simply amazing, and just Virginia Madison coming out of the mouth of Candyman's mouth, being graffitied and everything else like that. Just beautiful picture. And Tony Todd's voice as Candyman, again, iconic. I think it is perfect. And growing up, as I said, watching it later, I appreciate what the Candyman lore, what it represents. So highly recommend Candyman. Again, it's my favorite horror movie. Candyman's my favorite horror icon, villain, and so check that movie out. The next movie I saw later on in was it in high school, or maybe the year I graduated. I'm old, man. I don't really remember, but it was around that time frame. And the movie that scared me was The Ring. I think that movie is still a classic film, man. I of course the scene, the beginning of the film, when the girl, her between those two girls, they're realizing that the girl actually did watch the tape, and then of course what happens later on with her in the closet. It's great visual effects, man. It's just great imagery, and I love it, man. It holds up. It's my opinion. It still holds up, and I'm very excited for Scream Factory's 4K release of all three of the films, coming out in a few weeks. So I'm so excited. I got the Ring Steelbook as well, Blu-ray Steelbook. It's one of my favorite Blu-rays that I have in my collection, and of course, that's the movie that I saw first, and then I saw Ringu, and I still think, because I have Ringo as well, but I still think that The Ring is a better film. You know, I don't know. Maybe that, of course, that's just me. But I think that the girl Samantha is very scary. The music that they're playing, again, music, how it is in the movies, the score and everything else that goes around it. It's very effective, and it was for me. And just the tape that they play, the screeching noises, the weird ass music, the imagery in that tape, and yeah, man, I love it. I love The Ring. Watch The Ring. I love it. Next films are films that I saw much later in life, and they scared the crap out of me, man. Just the imagery in those films have stuck with me. Obviously, I own all of these films. And I watch them almost every year. Some of them I watch every year, but they all hold up to this day for me. The film that scared me when I was a little bit older is Sinister. Man, that movie. Pff, creepy as hell, man. The found footage aspects of that film, the creepy ass Bagul villain. And Ethan Hawke is a great actor. He's one of my favorite actors. And the music to that film, I just watched it during Halloween. And it obviously, for me right now, it doesn't, scare me as much, but it's still very effective to this day. Like I said, all of these movies, when I saw as an adult, that kind of scared me, it holds up, man. And Sinister, I think, is a modern horror classic. Just the creepy music that plays along during those videos. Oh my goodness, man. Obviously, the lawnmower scene, the tree scene, the swimming pool, the end of the movie. Perfect. Chef's kiss, man. Mwah. So beautiful. Very effective, and it holds to this day. So, Sinister, modern horror masterpiece. Must watch. This movie, I just had one of the best theater experiences, and that's Hereditary. I was wowed by that film. The the story, the acting, the cinematography, those what the hell moments, jeez, man. Just incredible. It's so dark. Toni Collette, I will die on this hill that she should have received an Oscar, at least an Oscar nomination for her in this film.
You could have just said, I'm sorry, or faced up to what happened. Maybe, Dan, we could do something with this, but you can't take responsibility for anything!
Holy cow, the emotion, the story arc of that film, because, you expect one thing and it just, snap of a finger, it just turns it around, and it's like a what the hell happened moment, and that's what Hereditary is, man. I fucking love that film. I don't watch it every year. Some of my favorite films I don't watch every year. And Hereditary is one of them. I think I don't know why. I think obviously it's a very dark subject movie and everything, but every time that I watch it, it still affects me, man. It still is just a masterpiece. I love Hereditary. And the ending, another what the hell did I just watch moment? Psh, incredible. Just incredible. The movie that affected me when I became a parent, I've said it multiple times in other videos, and that's Paranormal Activity 3. Pff, wow, man. When I first saw that film, I thought it was good, but I still thought the original was better. And then I became a parent, and man, holy cow, that movie just simply, it just changed for me, and I looked at it on it as in a different view, and like I said, as a parent, and what those kids go through, what happens to the damn parents, man, it's such a great film, and it's my favorite in the franchise now, and I just love how it starts, what transpires throughout the movie, and those scenes in kitchens, the camera going back and forth, side to side. Great imagery. I just watched it actually a few days ago, and it just holds up for me still. I know what the hell happens to everyone. I've watched this film multiple times. I own the box set, and it's still. My eyes are just still glued to the screen during some of these moments that are just very effective, and I love Paranormal Activity 3. It is a masterpiece for me. Wasn't before, but when I became a parent, very much so. Highly recommend Paranormal Activity 3. A movie that chilled me to the core, that made me want to basically take a shower afterwards, was the Poughkeepsie Tapes. The Poughkeepsie Tapes, oh my god. Man, nothing good happens in that damn movie. Like, nothing. It's like one of those, it's like a damn snuff film. Yeah. It is so, it's a great film. It is great. And I highly recommend that movie to anyone who loves the horror genre. I watched it, for Found Footage Friday, and I was totally blind, didn't know anything about the film, and I'm really glad I did, because man, it is so good. Creepy as fuck. Oh my goodness, man. It stuck with me for days. I watched it. Of course, I was like, what the hell? And for the next few days, I kept on thinking about the movie. And that, for me, when I think about a movie afterwards, that's a very effective film that the director was trying to do for the audience. And it is a must-watch movie. I will own that movie here soon. I'm gonna buy that movie. But very effective, very chilling. Like I said, there's not a good thing that happens in that film, but your eyes are just glued to the screen. So must watch. See that film. Last but not least is a movie that I was recommended by one of my buds from Twitter, and that is The Dark and the Wicked. Wow, I love this film. I saw it and I bought it right after watching the film. I think it's a modern horror masterpiece. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It is so good. You can find the film on Shudder, but some of those scenes in that film. Imagery is so effective. The music, the atmosphere, the sound design for that film is actually really good. For a 5.1, very surprised. And it's I originally saw it on Shudder, and like I said, right after seeing it, I clicked buy. I bought the damn film, and the Blu-ray is very, very good. I loved The Dark and the Wicked. And I recommend it to everyone now. And I actually recommended it to my friend John from Let's Talk Entertainments. And he actually did a video because I recommended the film, and as a director on one of his tier groups, I suggested the film, and he watched it and he reviewed it. So I, not only do I recommend, checking out his videos and subscribing to him, but also, of course, seeing and owning The Dark and the Wicked. It is a masterpiece. Love that movie. So damn good. So creepy. Just love it. So those are the movies that scared me, from when I was a kid up to now as an adult. And I would love to hear from you guys. What are some of the movies that scared you, when you were a kid, even now when you're an adult? Because, believe it or not, when you watch some, those scary movies, some movies scare you as an adult. And, in some ways, those are the movies that are a lot more effective than when you were a kid. Because when you're a kid, your imagination kind of goes a little wild. But when you're a kid, when you're an adult, those movies hit you a little differently. Or I should say some movies hit you a little differently. And I think those are just great horror films. And I would love to know what movies scared you. Don't forget to check out my video here of iconic horror movies that are must own. Thanks guys for watching the video. I really appreciate it, and have a great day.